Buongiorno! I bid you welcome to my review of Nosferatu. So, Nosferatu just recently went up on Steam. Now, this is a game I had a lot of fun with as a kid, so I'd like to go ahead and talk about it a little bit and maybe share some of that enjoyment with you. There are a few bugs. They're pretty laughable though, and add kind of a bit of a charm to the game anyways. Alright, so probably the absolute worst thing in the game is the fact that there is zero video customization options. When you go into the settings, all you can change are the key bindings. There's no other options. It does tell you at the bottom the few little hotkeys that will adjust things like mouse sensitivity and how to skip cutscenes. Okay, so now let's actually talk about the game a little bit. So, Nosferatu is set in 1912. You're playing as an English nobleman who is going to rescue his family from the clutches of the evil Romanian count. Insert random cliche here. Anyways, it is a survival horror, so you're going to have to reuse your resources well. You have to be careful. You know, you can't just be going around and run into a room, guns blazing. You get limited resources. You have limited health. You die easily. The game is difficult, but it gets progressively easier as you get through the game because you get more things available to you. Like there's a doctor that'll heal you. You get a revolver if you rescue the ants. There's things like that. You spend the game creeping around, unlocking doors, collecting keys, rescuing your family, finding ammunition. You know, it's got that very old school first-person shooter aspect to it, which I personally love. What's very interesting about this game, though, is that every time you load, the castle regenerates, so it changes completely. Or what I mean by regenerate is it reconstructs. The castle is random every time you play. Now, I originally thought it was just where the monsters and the keys spawn and where the family members were, but literally I started a new game and the castle layout was different. So each time you play, you get a unique experience, which is a pretty cool feature. Now the game has some unique mechanics such as the stamina bar. So as you move around in the game, you actually have a bar that will increase and become more difficult for you to perform actions. You move slower, you can't mindlessly swing your sword around trying to kill everything, and it also increases faster when you run. So therefore, you can't really just do everything all the time. You have to plan what you're going to do carefully. One of the other unique mechanics is the crucifix. You can use it to keep vampires at bay, or you can use it to kill certain vampires. Like so. The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you! You can also use the crucifix to bless water and fill the chalice if you got it. If you saved the father, he'll give you a chalice. You can fill the chalice with holy water, and you can throw the holy water at the vampires. Unfortunately, the animation looks like sparkles. Still kills them instantly, but I don't think it's from holy water. I personally think they just suddenly die out of a dreaded fear to end up in a teen romance sparkling novel. So I mentioned bugs. One of the best bugs, personally, and this is the one I'm actually going to show in the video, is the disappearing bullet act. Where I empty my revolver and refill it. And empty my revolver and refill it. Where the bullets go, nobody knows. The game also has boss battles, which you might expect in first-person shooter. But this ones are kind of fun. Top of the East Tower, you fight one vampire. And you can only hurt him, as far as I could tell, with stakes. He doesn't repel from the crucifix. He's got the best haircut ever, too. There's also this kind of awesome moment where you sneak across the rooftop, get down in through the attic, bust open the coffin, and you find the vampire laying there sleeping. And you pull out your stake, and you go to stake him. You drive the stake straight through his heart, and the expression on his face... So, this was just a wee bit of a sneaky peek at Nosferatu. If you haven't played it before, you might give it a shot. You can pick it up on Steam for $5 right now, till the 13th. And when you do, you get some of the most quality voice acting that I've ever heard.
Oh, hello, James. Glad to see you, good old chap. Let's get out of here. If you're sure about this, old man, I'll wait here until you're back then, eh, James?
But really, it's a pretty fun game. If you can get past the cheesy animations of the vampire facial expressions and some of the little quirky bugs, it's a pretty enjoyable game. It's difficult, it's challenging, so if you're looking for something a little bit different, give it a shot. And as always, thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe to get current updates on anything I release in the future, and stay tuned for what's coming up next. And with that, I shall leave you with the most epic moment in the whole video.